Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Daily Compliance News for November 19, 2024 is Comedy Corrupt Edition. And we begin with that story from Salon, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, which asks, has the Trump corrupted Magna Comedy? They look at the jokes, the gags, the laughs of the president-elect and how he crassly dispensed them in the final weeks of the race. So is this policy ineptitude or razor-sharp comedy that's working? So is Trump going to corrupt comedy? Well, I'll leave that one to you. Next up from the BBC, a hacker was sentenced to 5 years in prison for laundering the proceeds of one of the biggest ever cryptocurrency thefts. Ilya Lichtenstein pleaded guilty last year in the case involving Bitfinex cryptocurrency exchange being hacked in 2016 and 120,000 Bitcoin stolen. He laundered the stolen cryptocurrency with the help of his wife, who uses the alias Razzle Khan to promote her hip-hop music. The theft was worth around $70 million, but later raised to $4.5 billion. So inflation hits the life of crime. Next up from Reuters, it appears that competitors to the winning bankruptcy bid for Citgo assets by Elliott's have challenged this bid. They have claimed that the bids that were not accepted could have paid more creditors. So companies are seeking to reopen the bid, and the judge is going to hold a hearing in December on how best to proceed. And finally, business owners have wised up about the Trump's immigration plan and recognized that it could shut down whole swaths of the U.S. economy. Restaurants, farms, small businesses, manufacturing, hotels, wide variety of workers. So the federal government says, oh, no, we're not going to throw out workers from companies, U.S. companies. That would be antithetical to U.S. companies making as much money as possible. But the reality is there are going to be no-knock raids, and there are going to be raids on places where undocumented aliens go to get jobs. So it's going to be an interesting conundrum going forward. Good luck. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.